minutes.
All right, we're going to go ahead and continue with our media availabilities for today. We're now joined by our race winner, Corey Heim. Corey, congratulations. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions. If you have one, please raise your hand, and we will bring a mic over to you. We'll start right here with Zach and then go in the back to John.
Corey, Zach Sterniel of NASCAR.com. A lot of good battles, it looked like, between you and Lane, and then obviously he has his issue, but you have that late restart there. What's going through your mind on that final restart, and was there any concern that this race could slip away?
Yeah, I feel like the 34 is definitely the class of the field for the first 25 to 30 laps. He had really good short run speed. Really, I felt like I was trying to keep pace with him for the first 25. It just seemed like his stuff took off really good. But it was a bit of a light switch after about 30. He would start to back up to me, and I could sort of take advantage of that. So, yeah, I mean, to answer your question, the last restart there, I feel like our launches were pretty good throughout the day, starting from the front row. But I think everyone knows just, Darlington restarts, if you're side by side into one, it can get pretty messy. But try not to overthink it. Just kind of did what I was doing all day, and continue my good launches. And by the time I was clear, I knew that it was sort of ours to lose at that point.
We'll go to the left to John.
John Newby, Savage Ventures. So I talked to a few of the drivers on pit road, and they all said they were trying to, baby the right front tire during that opening stage just because of, major concerns. How was it on your perspective? Did you have to take any extra precautions early?
I sort of just carried my normal mindset as far as Darlington goes. I think if you're going 100%, 110% to start off a run and beat the tires off of it, you're going to pay for it on the back end. And it's weird because the last 2 years I've felt like that I can go 80% and be the best truck and, kind of set the pace. And then we've fallen off, after 25, but it was sort of the opposite today. So, we definitely wanted to go towards the direction of being better in the long run, but we may have kind of overdone it a little bit where the 34 was really good on the short runs, and then it would sort of flip-flop after about 30. But, no, I felt like for me, with our pace and as far as my mindset goes, taking care of the right front tire is always important here. So I just sort of did what I normally do, but I didn't have any extra concerns as far as what, took place in past years, I guess.
Any other questions for Corey? We'll go all the way in the back.
Zach Moyer for Rolling Bottom. Corey, you with this win, you are now 7th all-time in Craftsman Truck Series wins. So I'm curious, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I would have never thought starting out with this team 2 years ago in 2023 that we would ever get to this point. Of course, I had hopes and dreams of winning a lot and, like every other driver, just being successful. But to look back on the last 3 years and kind of where we started in 2023 and my first full-time rookie season versus now, it's been a heck of a ride. Just so much hard work has gone in by my 11 guys with Tricon and Toyota. Just being able to consistently every week be able to bring speed to the racetrack and contend for wins and then just execute from there over the last 3 seasons has been awesome. So, it's always been a dream of mine to just even race at the highest level, but to have the success that we've had this year, really as a team and an organization and a manufacturer, all 3 of those, it's a very special feeling.
Thank you.
Tim Moore, Motorsports Today. Congrats on the win, Corey. Just kind of follow up with that, too. Now this is 8 wins. You're 1 away from Biffle. Just how focused are you on the single season record, at least in terms of wins?
I don't really individualize anything like that. I think the goal every week is to go out and try to win the race, of course. And I feel like our mentality and our approach is just really good for that on a consistency basis. We don't... we're in a spot to not feel desperate, but I don't feel like we've ever gone into a race feeling super desperate, So I think that mentality definitely plays a role in kind of what's, been successful and what's worked for us this year. But at the same time, it'd be awesome to have that, as a career kind of milestone or a record for myself and the Truck Series and stuff. But I think that's something that I would more reflect on rather than look forward to personally. But it also just puts into perspective how good we've been as an organization and as a team this year. So certainly really appreciative of Tricon Garage, Toyota, Safe Flight for putting us in the spot and being able to take advantage of it this year.
And one last question. Obviously now 3 out of the last 4, your worst finish is 3rd, and you open up the playoffs with a win and move to the round of 8. Would you say this is the best stretch of your career in terms of races, or?
As far as success, yeah, I'd say so. I feel like I've had better odds or better chances at going 3 in a row. Like the last 2 races, I didn't feel like we were the best truck. We were in contention. We were in the running for it, but we weren't like absolutely dominating, as far as speed goes the last 2. I mean, maybe Watkins Glen, I think we were the best truck, but yeah, it's just racing it's crazy the way it works. You can have the best stuff and something can go your way every race. Like we've had stretches like that, and you can have stretches where you're maybe not the best truck and things just go your way. It's weird the way it works like that. But to answer your question, I mean, it's definitely in the running for one of the best stretches of my career, but definitely just going to look forward and to Bristol and try to keep that going.
We'll come down here to Reed and then to Chris.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire. Statistically, this has not been your best track. So how gratifying is it to close the deal here at a historic track like this?
Yeah, it's definitely a special feeling. I feel like Darlington has always kind of had a place in me as far as, I grew up in Marietta, Georgia, not too far from here. Would drive almost every year up for the Southern 500 and watch it with my family. So had, dreams and aspirations of racing in NASCAR, and just, this track and the atmosphere and the Southern 500 itself really, elevated my love for the sport. So to be able to win here several years later and look back on that's a really cool feeling. But yeah, I feel like it's always been a good track for me. I just have we've kind of found a way to lose it. Last year getting wiped out, and then the year before we were on a different strategy and it didn't work out for us. So we've always had the speed. We didn't have our heads down by any means coming into this race thinking that we were going to be on the struggle bus by any means. We've always, been good here, but to finally close the deal means a lot.
We'll come down here to Chris and then to Jerry.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. Congrats, Corey. I was just wondering if you learned anything today that you guys executed well, or something that you guys need to work on over the next 6 races to get to the championship 4.
I think we did a good job at being just even-keeled and understanding when the right time was to push it. From the first stage, I knew that, taking care of the truck, especially the first 2 stages, taking care of the truck was big. Most people know that if you get any damage on the right front and, bend the sheet metal in, it's going to be a pretty good chance that you're going to blow a tire. So I wanted to really just stay safe. As long as we were in the top 3 to 5, I was pretty comfortable just kind of being on the bottom as long as we could make decent speed. And from there, we were just able to kind of manage the race in stage 3 and understanding where our strengths were as far as being better in the long run. And as soon as we were able to put some pressure on the 34, we got in the fence. So we did a good job just understanding where our strengths and weaknesses were today. But yeah, I'd like to look for some more fire off speed, I guess, just in general. The 34 was really, really good for the first 25 and then sort of flip-flopped after that. So being able to sort of balance that and keep the long run as good as it's been, but also make the short run better, that's sort of something we're going to look into, I'd say.
We'll go to Jerry, then to Zach, and then we're going to go all the way in the back.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires.net. So when you obviously you've had a dominant season, does this momentum that you continue to carry forward help you? Because I mean, you're next round and things like that. You're not the type that's going to let up, but I mean, how much more room do you have for win stickers?
Yeah, hopefully we can just do really the same thing we've been doing. Going into our first race at Daytona this year, we were just focused on what we needed to focus on for that specific race and got our dots in line for that one. And I feel like it's the same, mindset now as far as just going to Bristol. We got to figure out what we've struggled with there in the past and sort that out. Make sure that we've, once again, understanding our strengths and weaknesses on those types of racetracks. They're, certainly in the back of our head is our playoff situation and just kind of that we've advanced and we can maybe play around with setup to do more or less with that. But for the most part, as far as my mentality, I feel like I prepare for every race equally and try to just execute on the things I need to and prioritize the things I need to. So for me, it's really no different than trying to hunt the first win versus the 9th one.
When you snap one off like this, does it give you a little bit of relief for the next round? That you could take not have to pressure yourself like some of these other guys?
A little bit. I think the goal today obviously was to win the race to begin with, but just not have a detrimentally bad day. If you with the playoff system the way it works, especially with 2 races left, and having the buffer that we do, it's like, let's just not do anything crazy here, just keep it out of the fence. Saw a lot of people with tire issues, of course, so understanding that and just understanding that if we were to get 0 to 10 points, a bad day, we would probably be in less of a comfortable shape going into Bristol and Loudon. So understanding that and just being able to be comfortable running the bottom and keeping it out of a harm's way, I guess, was sort of the mindset, and we were able to execute on that.
Go to Zach.
Corey, finishing fifth was Trevor Bain, who was driving another Tricon truck today. What interactions have you had with him? Has he helped you in any way in his role through Toyota?
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of my driver development. We, on a weekly basis, have a call, and he sends me a packet of stuff to look at. And I'd say more than half of the stuff in there is things that I would have never even thought about going into a race weekend. So with his prior, Cup experience in Xfinity as well, being able to lean on him for just things that he was able to pick up on throughout his career and implement into my driving style or just my strategy in general, is a huge deal. So he does a really good job. He's a very easy person to talk to and learn from, and I think he really cares a lot, and it's rewarding to see him, or rewarding for him to see us succeed, so it motivates him, and it's a sort of a mutual effort. So yeah, he's awesome. I can't say enough about him and Blake. They do such a good job at just preparing me in general, but also just being there for me when I need him.
I'm Chopper Motorsports today. First off, congrats on the win. Excuse me. Wow. Sorry. I wanted to ask, just now that you got the win and locked into the next round, obviously you mentioned you didn't want to be complacent going into the next 2 races, but if you could have an outlook into into round 2, what are your thoughts right now with those tracks, and how could you progress moving forward?
I think we can learn a little bit from Bristol. We've always been good there, but not necessarily like cutting edge speed like we look for. So I would assume we're going to do a little bit with the setup from our normal package and try to advance that, of course. But Loudon's kind of a different one. I feel like it sort of has some maybe Phoenix 1 and 2 similarities. So understanding what we need to do to, first of all, just bring a good truck in general, but also learn from the package we bring and apply it to Phoenix if we were to make it there. It's pretty important. So, every race, even if we are locked into the next round, is very important just to learn as far as our packages go and our setups and whatnot. So that's definitely important to us still, but also just going into the round of 8, being able to stack up more playoff points and make ourselves more comfortable with the chaotic round that the round of 8 is. So yeah, it's all important at the end of the day. We're not just going to hang out for the next couple of weeks and wait for the round of 8. I think it's definitely important that we utilize the opportunity that we've been given and keep moving forward.
Are there any final questions for Corey? All right, Corey. Congratulations. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
I know.